You are 31 years old and you are good at your job. That is the only reason any of this happens. You work compliance at a mid-sized trade finance firm in Panama City. Not a glamorous position. You spend your days reviewing wire transfer documentation, cross-referencing correspondent banking chains, flagging anomalies in letters of credit. You are precise, quiet, and fast. Your supervisor calls you a machine, and he means it as a compliment. You take it as one. You have a small apartment near the Casco Viejo, a girlfriend who works in insurance, and a savings account that will take 9 more years to become meaningful. You are not unhappy, you are simply waiting, though you cannot tell anyone what you are waiting for. The answer arrives on a Tuesday afternoon in the form of your manager calling you into a conference room and introducing you to a man named Rodrigo. Rodrigo has no last name. He wears a suit that costs more than your monthly salary, and he slides a manila folder across the table before you have sat down. Inside are 3 years of your own compliance reports. Someone has annotated them in red ink, circling every instance where you correctly identified a suspicious transaction and then noted, accurately every time, the precise mechanism being used to obscure the origin of the funds. Rodrigo taps the folder. He tells you that most compliance officers catch maybe 40% of what passes through their desk. You caught 92. He says he has never seen that number before. He says he has a proposition. You ask what firm he represents. He says he represents several. You are not a naive person. You understand within seconds what this meeting is. You also understand, with the kind of cold clarity that defines you professionally, that the folder on the table is not just a compliment, it is a demonstration. He is showing you that he has been watching you for a long time, that he knows your patterns, that he chose this moment and not an earlier one because he has been waiting until the number was high enough to be undeniable. You ask him what happens if you decline. He says nothing happens. He picks up the folder. He thanks you for your time. You let him reach the door. You tell him to sit back down. That is the moment. Not a gun on a table, not a threat against your family, just a number, 92%, and a door closing, and the quiet understanding that whatever comes next, you will never be this close to the edge of something enormous and walk away from it. You are not proud of that decision, but you do not lie to yourself about it either. You sat back down because you wanted to. Within 3 weeks, you are relocated. Your cover identity is a financial consultancy registered in Belize with a branch office in a glass tower in Panama City. Your title is Director of Structured Finance. On paper, you advise mid-market companies on cross-border capital movement. In practice, you are being trained by a man who goes by the name Aurelio, who is 67 years old, who has been running the same operation since 1989, and who regards you with the detached scrutiny of a craftsman evaluating a tool. Aurelio does not explain the full architecture to you immediately. He teaches you in layers, the same way the system itself is built in layers, because the system's security depends on no single person understanding all of it at once. The first layer is simplest: placement. Cash generated by drug sales in the United States, Europe, and West Africa arrives as structured deposits across thousands of accounts held at regional banks in countries with weak AML enforcement. The amounts are kept below reporting thresholds. The accounts are held by shell entities with no apparent connection to each other. This is old methodology. You already knew this. You tell Aurelio as much. He smiles. He says that is why you are here. The second layer is where your expertise begins to matter.